From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now, the latest news.
Kylie Conway has the latest news. The top headlines. News you can use.
Please stand by.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, February 12th. Cold but calm day. Will stay dry with sunshine. Highs will reach the low to mid-20s. Today, the Trump team takes over. Attorneys for the former president start making their case in Trump's second impeachment trial. The defense team is talking about its plans.
I think you'll at least be moved by what you see and get a much better picture of exactly what's going on here and the hypocrisy in some of the positions taken by the House managers in this case.
Trump's attorneys will have 16 hours over 2 days to convince senators that the former president was not responsible for the violence on Capitol Hill. They plan to keep their case quick.
It should be as short as possible, given the complete lack of evidence and the harm that this is causing to the American people.
CNN reports Trump's team expects to finish its arguments by tonight. After the defense uses its time, the Senate will have up to 4 hours to ask written questions. And House impeachment managers wrapped their case yesterday. Prosecutors spent the day focused on national security implications of the January 6th riot and argued why the former president incited the insurrection.
Their own statements before, during, and after the attack make clear the attack was done for Donald Trump.
House managers used new video and audio to show that those who stormed the Capitol did so because the president told them to.
We were invited by the president of the United States!
I was following my president. I thought I was following what we were called to do.
Some GOP senators, including Indiana's Mike Braun, shared their thoughts on the proceedings so far. Braun tweeted, "It doesn't change my opinion that removing a former president from an office he no longer holds is unconstitutional." 3 Republican senators met with Trump's legal team. According to Trump lawyer David Schoen, Senators Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, Ted Cruz of Texas, and Mike Lee of Utah wanted to make sure they were familiar with procedure. And today, hundreds more appointments are open for those eligible to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Wal-Mart pharmacies in Indiana are now offering the shot. This rollout could be a big boost to our state's vaccination numbers. So News 8 has spoken to people who say there is a wait several weeks long to get an appointment at a county clinic. But today, 50 Wal-Mart pharmacies will start administering the first shot. This doesn't change who is eligible. It's still 65 and up right now. Healthcare workers, emergency responders, and people in long-term care facilities. Walmart says it's focused on stores in medically underserved areas or places where a pharmacy, hospital, or doctor's office is a long drive away. There's about a dozen with an Indianapolis address, and the rest are outside of Marion County. We've got a list of the stores on our website, wishtv.com. That's also where you can schedule your appointment online through Walmart's pharmacy portal. A Sam's Club membership is not required to get your shot at Sam's Club. Walmart officials say 90% of the country lives within 10 miles of a Walmart. They've known they could play a big role in vaccinating America and have been preparing for this day for a long time.
Our company has put great effort into training our pharmacists and pharmacy teams from months ago in anticipation of receiving the vaccine. Like, we know how to handle it, we know how to store it, we know how to give it.
And we've talked about it. Kroger pharmacies are also offering this shot, and CVS and Walgreens pharmacies are preparing to roll out in Indiana soon. And today, the CDC is set to release new guidance for getting kids back in schools. The White House says key strategies for reopening will include hand washing, masking, social distancing, cleaning, and ventilation, and contact tracing, isolation, and quarantine. President Biden has said he wants most schools open by day 100 of his presidency. Critics say that goal is not ambitious enough and that all schools should be able to open much sooner. And the CDC says students are doing well at mask wearing in some areas of school, not so much in others, though. A new graph from the agency shows the answers to a survey asking where do people wear masks all the time. Classrooms and hallways are better than 60%. Everything else, including busing and restrooms, are less than half. Dr. Anthony Fauci says vaccines for young children could be ready by September. 16 is the current age minimum. Moderna and Pfizer are launching trials for children as young as 12. The next step would be trials for elementary-age children. And Fauci tells ProPublica that process could be done by the time first graders report to class in late summer. Improving numbers are making local health leaders optimistic, but they're not ready to say if fans will be in the stands for college basketball's big tournaments. County Health Director Dr. Virginia Kane said in yesterday's weekly coronavirus briefing that the NCAA has not submitted a final plan for the event yet.
but our numbers are looking very favorable for us. For us to make a decision, if they make a request for spectators, they're looking very good.
Kane expects to make the March Madness announcement within the next 2 weeks. The first games are scheduled for March 18th. Downtown Indianapolis can soon be seen as a gallery for local artists. A large project is collecting applications now to feature creatives impacted by the pandemic. The Arts Council of Indianapolis is leading the effort for March Madness. The organization is planning pop dances and music at places like Monument Circle, Luger Plaza, and Georgia Street. It's also looking to add art in empty storefront windows to bring more color downtown.
We're thinking about it in terms of really our city is a gallery. So how do we leverage some of the openings and places and spaces that we have to showcase some of the best visual artists that we have in our city?
The Arts Council is offering performance and commission fees ranging between $500 and $6,000. You can apply through Monday. President Joe Biden says he's finalized a deal to buy another 200 million coronavirus vaccines. 100 million will come from Pfizer and the other 100 million are from Moderna. The doses will be available by the end of July. Both companies have also agreed to expedite the delivery of 100 million doses each by a month, moving them up to May instead of June. Biden says the entire nation is on track to have enough supply for 300 million Americans by the end of July. Democrats are pushing the president's $1.9 trillion COVID relief plan through House committees. The Ways and Means Committee approved a $940 billion chunk of the package yesterday. It includes two key provisions: $1,400 payments for millions of Americans and an expansion of the child tax credit. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi promises to pass the whole legislation before key unemployment programs expire.
We hope to have this all done by the end of February. Certainly on the president's desk in time to offset the March 14th deadline.
Other committees are slated to advance other pieces of legislation. In the Senate, some Democrats are already signaling they'll make changes to the House bill.
Searching for a romantic summer getaway? Escape with Rich Girl Summer, the new Audible original from Lily Chu. The exquisitely talented Philippa Sue, returning to narrate her 5th Lily Chu title. This time, Philippa is joined by her real-life husband, Stephen Pasquale. Set in Toronto's wealthy cottage country, aka the Hamptons of Canada, Rich Girl Summer follows the story of Valerie, a down-on-her-luck event planner posing as a socialite's long-lost daughter, while piecing together the secrets surrounding a mysterious family and falling deeper and deeper in love with the impossibly hard-to-read and infuriatingly handsome family assistant, Nico. Caught between pretending to belong and unexpectedly finding where she truly fits in, Valerie learns her summer is about to get far more complicated than she ever planned. She's in over her head and head over heels. Listen to Rich Girl Summer now on Audible. Go to audible.com/richgirlsummer.
A plan to build a mosque in Brownsburg is off. The Hendricks County Commissioners voted to reject a rezoning request to build on the old Claremont Golf Course. Claremont Village project would have included houses, townhouses, and condos, as well as a private K-12 school. The team behind the project says it's looking at several options to move forward with development plans. Today, the IRS starts accepting and processing tax returns. The agency recommends filing electronically and setting up a direct deposit to get your refund more quickly, if you're owed one. The agency is also reminding people that any stimulus money you received is not taxable. If you were eligible for the payments, you may be able to claim the recovery rebate credit when you file. The last day to file or request a filing extension is Thursday, April 15th. Members of the Indianapolis business community are criticizing lawmakers for what they call heavy-handed limits on local authority. More than 60 businesses and groups signed a letter wanting to put a stop to interference in local decisions. The group is motivated by bills proposing changes to city regulations on rental properties, the police department, zoning management, and more. Part of the letter reads, "As employers, we don't claim a special privilege to speak for the people of Indianapolis, but we are invested in the success of our city, which continues to be the engine of Indiana's economy. Imposing heavy-handed limits on local authority would stall our ability to drive Indiana forward." And one of the bills at issue proposes funding changes to IndyGo. Business executives say if funding is stopped, it would undermine practical transit and keep more people away from work. Authors of the bill want to stop funding, citing a 2014 state law requiring IndyGo to raise more funding on its own. They say IndyGo is not keeping its end of the deal.
The agreement was IndyGo would raise 10% privately. State law requires them to raise 25% of their fares from the box. They're not meeting that requirement. Either the law matters or it doesn't. I ask you to hold IndyGo accountable, and I ask you to move the bill forward.
Lawmakers say the bill will not affect IndyGo's planned Purple Line. Job applications are open to work with Indy Parks and Recreation this summer. Applicants must be at least 16 years old. Positions include lifeguard, cashiers, camp counselor, and special needs camp counselors. We're working to get a link on the application page on our website. Just go to wishtv.com. It should be up there by now. And today, students across the country, including here in Indiana, are pledging to stop social isolation and bullying. It's part of No One Eats Alone Day. Students from Wayne Township schools and students in Fort Wayne are being encouraged to create new friendships. There'll be some virtual activities, but students can do so in person, like during lunch hour. It's normally the social hour at school, but there are some students who really feel isolated. But No One Eats Alone Day is all about changing that. There'll be a virtual bullying prevention performance by the Young Actors Theater. Students from Maplewood and Stoutfield Elementary Schools in Wayne Township will be watching that online. Managed Health Services is hosting the event and says the performance is to show the negative impact it can have on mental health and academic performance, adding that social isolation leads to bullying, self-harm, and community violence. And this year, more students may be experiencing those stressors during the pandemic.
Even though we have been more isolated lately than in the past, it is more important than ever to be kind to each other and inclusive to our peers, whether we see each other every day in person or through our computer screens. When we work together, we can all help each other be healthier and happier individuals.
During No One Eats Alone Day, students will hear messages from health experts and from other students on the importance of being kind and inclusive. Today, students are encouraged to sit with someone that they don't know or would like to get to know better. Britney Spears loses another legal battle over control of her estate. The singer is trying to remove her father, Jamie Spears, as a co-conservator. A Los Angeles judge ruled last night that Jamie Spears and another appointed co-conservator will remain in charge of the pop star's estate. Britney Spears also has been trying to remove her father from the position since last August. But her father says he needs to protect his daughter from people who might take advantage of her. The court hearings have started a movement called Free Britney. A crowd of people protested outside the court yesterday in favor of Britney. To business headlines now, shoppers purchasing gifts for Valentine's Day expect to spend $163 on their significant other this year. That's according to Retail Me Not. It's about double last year, and the pandemic may be why. Some people have extra cash on hand that they would have spent on travel. A California city becomes the first in the nation to give hero pay to farm workers. The Coachella City Council's emergency ordinance requires certain agricultural operations, as well as grocery stores, retail pharmacy stores, and restaurants, to provide a premium pay of an additional $4 per hour to their employees in Coachella for at least 120 days. Facebook launched an app to help couples talk to each other. Sunita Mahanti, product leader for Tuned by Facebook, says it will allow you to share your mood throughout the day. Tuned is free to download and available on iOS and Android. Microsoft recently considered a deal with Pinterest, sources told the Financial Times. The acquisition of the $51 billion social media firm would have been Microsoft's biggest deal. Pinterest apparently wasn't interested and wants to remain independent. And according to a survey from Yellow Brick Data, 1/3 of respondents would trust artificial intelligence to pick their Valentine this year. And more than 70% would use a dating app with facial recognition. The hybrid data warehousing company found that people don't trust dating apps with their data. In fact, only 13% feel confident that dating apps protect personal information. And more than 60% think that dating apps are selling their information, even if they do not allow it. All right, now to sports. The Purdue men's basketball team has a few days off to work on what went wrong against Minnesota. Coach Matt Painter says his team gave the Golden Gophers too many chances in last night's loss. The game was tied in the final minute. Purdue scored to go up by 2. The Gophers hit a three-pointer with less than 15 seconds on the clock. Final score 71-68. Purdue is ranked 24th. They're back in action hosting Michigan State on Tuesday. And the Pacers snap out of their funk with a win on the road. Indiana beat the Pistons in Detroit last night, 111-95. Domantas Sabonis and Malcolm Brogdon led the way with 26 points. Pacers went into the night on a 4-game losing streak. The Pacers are 5-9 since the midseason trade that sent Victor Oladipo to the Rockets. Next up, the Pacers play the Hawks in Atlanta tomorrow night. This has been your News 8 Daily 8. For Wish TV, I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
The News 8 Daily 8 is sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling.
Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast.
The News 8 Daily 8 with Kylie Conway. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.